what do you feel like are some ways for individuals and those, we're here talking to accounting firms, those in accounting firms, to increase awareness of Juneteenth, to celebrate it respectfully and on a larger scale, things that they can do to help be more diverse in their firms and to promote people from different walks of life, and not just hire them.
Yeah, this could be a whole podcast for, episode 1, 2, and 3. But in short order, I would say that it's not just about Juneteenth. It's about the commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging for all underrepresented individuals. And if you want to talk specifically within this industry, we know that at least last time I checked the statistics, there's less than 1% African Americans within the industry, or less than 2% African Americans industry. And during my entire time of having the privilege of going to the major firms event, which is your top CEO and COO at the event, unless otherwise invited, I was the only African American in the C-suite my entire time of attending those events as a C-level executive, CEO or COO. Now, that's not to say that they didn't have the time where they were asking you to invite your top female, and that might be a HR or a marketing person. But during my entire time in the industry, I was the only African American at that COO or CEO level. And so I think that for organizations, it's not just about Juneteenth, but it's about our commitment to creating opportunity at every level in this industry, and then paving a pathway for it to happen, starting with what you mentioned, recruiting. And I don't think it's just about recruiting at the lowest level. It's across every level within our industry in order to create the ability for individuals to belong and feel included, because you need to have individuals that you can look up to. It's about creating the seat and voice at the table for individuals of all cultures. And if we're specifically talking about African Americans, then making sure that we're intentional about that by executing strategies to bring individuals into the organization without the fear of, meaning that means you have to dilute the candidate. I've even had firms say, well, now does that mean that we don't get the best candidate? As if by hiring an African American, they're not going to be as qualified as hiring another race or culture. But the reality of it is there are amazing, talented individuals in all races and in all cultures. And if we're being intentional about penetrating a specific culture of underrepresented individuals, then that's the culture we have to focus on. So I think from a recruiting standpoint, obviously, it's about having an intentional strategy, not just about a number so that we can check a box, but about a cultural integration so that once we acquire the talent, we have an ability to retain them and continue to allow them to earn their way up the corporate ladder. I think that we also have to celebrate one another's by learning about what we don't know, which means that when you're not familiar, it's very uncomfortable. So having clarifying conversations like the amazing CEO of Hogan Taylor, or Jim Wallace of BPM, or Joey, that these are individuals who want to learn about that which they don't know. So we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And it starts at the top. We have to start understanding how we can have conversations by asking more questions, being less defensive, and knowing that our end game is to do what's best for not just the people, but the industry. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, we have to change and shift. And if we don't know how, we need to bring in consultants that can walk alongside of us to help us hit our goals and objectives. And I believe that in order to increase African Americans in the industry, we have to commit to it being a cultural shift, a cultural transformation versus an initiative. And then we have to commit investment dollars. And we need leadership in this space. In our industry, so many people who already had a full-time job got a separate title as DEI leader, DEI strategist, and then it's not a committed amount of time to actually implementing and integrating it into the culture of the organization. So we really have to put our money where our mouth is, and at the end of the day, there must be accountability. And so if we want to create cultural transformation where there's a seat and a voice at the table for everyone, where we're increasing the population of the underrepresented in our industry, then we need to hold our leadership accountable, and that needs to be part of our scorecard. And when we get serious about it, when we seek help in the space where we don't understand, where we get mentors and coaches and consultants that can walk alongside of us to get to the win, once it's clarified, I guarantee you we can create a shift in this industry.